Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday morning. It's 10 o'clock. So this must be, and I'm Connie Meyer, so this must be to 70 and beyond. I am so excited. I've been talking about this great little book for the last 3 weeks. It's called I Am Only Half Crazy. And I'm so excited that the lady that's only half crazy is joining me. Thank you,
Hey.
Cheryl Knowlton, for coming on with me today.
Oh, you're so welcome, Connie. Thank you so much for inviting me. And thank you for sharing my book with your raving fans. I'm so excited to be here today.
Well, I think it's very appropriate that it's Thanksgiving weekend, and you're one of the people I'm so grateful to have in my life, and that's one of the chapters in the book we're going to talk about. But so happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there, and if you have not bought this little book and you want some really easy, it's an easy read with some straightforward, fun facts about Cheryl, but also great tips on how to live a visionary and purposeful life. So today we're going to talk about the last 5 chapters. And chapter 16 is pace yourself. And she talks, so I'm going to read just the first little sentence of it. It says, I learned this lesson early on in my running career. At the start of every race, you have so much adrenaline that you just want to burst out of the starting gate. I find myself running really fast. However, if you don't find your pace, you will soon tire. So, how long did it take you to figure that out?
So I joke that I am unbelievably slow on the uptake when it comes to most things in life, and uh, it took me. We'll just say it took me too long, Connie, to figure it out. That you need to find your pace, and comparison is the thief of joy, as we all know, and as this is the season of abundance and Thanksgiving. We need to eradicate comparison for sure.
Oh, totally.
Yep.
Totally.
So my pace, you may be much faster than I am, and that's okay. Or I may be faster than you are, and that's okay. We find your own pace.
I think that's such an important point because when I started the whole certification at writing and all of that, and at first I thought I was taking too much time. I thought I was too slow. And then all of a sudden the pandemic happened and I wrote the last 3 courses in like 10 weeks. And it was like, okay. And I had to remind myself to get up and take a little walk once in a while because I was sitting on my friend's sofa, quarantined, and all I was doing was typing away, typing. And I had to remember to get up and go for a walk and breathe a little bit so that I could continue on. So you say here, whether you are running a race or running your life or business, going faster than we have the strength to do is a guaranteed recipe for burnout.
Yep.
Boy, can I relate to that one. When you were writing your courses, did you find it difficult to take a break, or were you pretty good about doing that?
Oh gosh. Yes and no. It depends. Sometimes I just get. It depends on what I'm writing, and most of the time when I'm in the zone, in that zone of genius and creativity, I am so excited. For me, when I'm actually writing a course or exam questions or something deeply creative, a lot of times I'm writing to the soundtrack from Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's how I do my best work. And so I'm like hard after it. It's hard for me to remember to take a break.
Yeah. When I wrote my book, Crystalline Moments, first of all, I procrastinated. After I did all the interviews, I procrastinated and I finally said, okay, I used the 5 second rule, right? I'm going to get up and I'm going to write the intro. And I got up and I started writing the intro. And then 4 days later, I had 85% of the book written. And I almost starved my dog. I'm I didn't take
And
a shower
yourself,
for 4 days.
probably, and yourself, right?
Yeah. And then my daughter called me and she says, "You're coming to dinner." I go, "No." And she goes, "Yes. You're getting out of that house." And that meant I had to take a shower. I didn't want to be around anybody. And then the last part, the last 15% or so, then I was a little more balanced. But I mean, I got such in the zone that I didn't want to sleep. I didn't want to eat. I didn't even want to go to the bathroom. It was like, it was horrible. But so I think this is something it's a really valuable lesson And really, and you need to tell us about the pink elephant.
Oh gosh, that was years ago, and I found him recently. So excited! We're doing a lot of clean out of our house, which feels so good. Well, I talk about that decluttering in my first book, Burn the Hamster Wheel, and I'm finally like eating my own cooking right now. Clearing things out and helping my daughter too. My youngest daughter lives with us with her husband and their 3-year-old daughter, and they're getting ready for daughter number 2, who I should note is being named after a Disney princess. Her name is going to be Aurora. How absolutely fabulous is that? So as
Oh,
they are
Grandma, you got
getting
to be
ready
so
to
proud.
make room for their new baby, a lot of stuff. We've got 3 piles: the pile that is going to the dump, the pile that is being recycled, and the pile that is being regifted, rehomed, being donated to charity. And it was through that process that I found my pink elephant last Saturday. I haven't seen him in years, but he's about this big.
Uh-huh.
And pink stuffed elephant, and I bought him as a reminder that you can eat an elephant if you take it one bite at a time. And we've all heard that expression. I was pretty excited about it when I first heard it 15 years ago or whatever. And so I had to buy myself a visual reminder, which is why I bought my little pink elephant. And that's true of any project, any goal, whether it is to have $1 million in savings or to travel around the world or lose 50 pounds, whatever. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, right? And so it's just remembering to just take one small bite at a time. And those little bites create momentum. And then we get to celebrate the fact that we did that thing. And then, okay, in the immortal words of Anna from Frozen, we just do the next right thing and take that next step. And before you know it, you turn around, as I talk about in my book, and you're like, wow, I've really come a long way, and I don't have to run
Absolutely.
those miles again. Yay for that. I did that. I did that. It's done. Yeah, baby.
Exactly. Exactly. That's, I always talk about you. You start with where you are and what you have right now. And you're right. What's that first baby step? And
Yep.
then celebrating each one of those steps because that
Yes.
feeds your brain. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Love, love, love it. Well, in chapter 17, you say, allow others to cheer you on.
Yep.
And you talk about in here, somebody was it your daughter or somebody that reminded you to take off your headset or something
My
so that you can hear
daughter.
your
my
daughter?
my two
To,
daughters. So there are a lot of pictures in this book. In addition to being a super easy read with lots of really fun stories and then applications to actual life, there are a lot of pictures, and there are a lot of pictures of my 2 beautiful oldest daughters, both of whom were instrumental and inspirational in starting me on this crazy journey to begin with. So yes, they both told me, when you're coming down the home stretch, take off your headphones, your earphone, your AirPods, whatever you've got to listen to your music. Take them out so that you can hear the crowd cheering. And we all need more cowbell in life, right? That's like the best Saturday Night Live skit in the history of ever. More cowbell. So and just being able to hear people cheering for you, absolute strangers, it's just such a beautiful, wonderful, wonderful thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I think when it comes to whatever your vision is for your life or whatever goal you're working on at the time, again, you need to stop. You need to stop and smell the roses, listen to what's going on around you, and really listen to what other people are telling you. I used to be terrible at allowing people to cheer me on. I used to be I'd always come up with some excuse why it didn't, why it wasn't as good as it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I many years ago, I had somebody remind me, first of all, you need to listen because that's the best way to turn off that negative voice in our head. And second, you need to be grateful that those
Yeah.
people are cheering you on and
Mhm.
saying, congratulations. As a matter of fact, last week I did a 4-day conference called Hope to Hope with my friend Kim White. She does it every year. She had a 14-year-old son that was killed in a hunting accident, and she does the Hope to Hope in honor of him every year.
Mm.
And she was introducing me, and we've known each other now for God, probably over 10 years. and she's introducing me with all the accomplishments, everything I've done for the last, I don't know, 30 years. She actually she started in a magazine and she put it all in this magazine. She said, I'm just going to read this of what this woman has done. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening. I'm like, dang, I have accomplished a lot.
You have, and I need to say that Connie, it was you who first inspired me to write a book to begin with. At the point when you and I met at Awesome Females in Real Estate, hosted by the amazing, beautiful, and talented Bernice Ross, and you and I were on a panel together, and it had never, I mean, not since I was 8 years old, and I wrote my first little book called Clarence Goes to Hollywood about a dog that goes to Hollywood. It's about 8 pages, and it was illustrated by my sister. So yeah, there you go. And it was tied together, bound by green yarn,
I
like the
love
most
it.
unattractive shade of green you've ever seen. That was the yarn that we used to bind this book. You were the one who inspired me to start writing. So I love you for
Oh,
that.
thank
You
you.
have accomplished so much. You're such an inspiration to so many people.
Oh,
I
thank you.
want you to stop and let me cheer for you. Yes, right now. Yay. Yay, Connie.
Thank you. Well, that brings me to another quote out of your book. It says, now give yourself a huge round of applause. I mean, sometimes we don't do that. We don't look at our accomplishments and understand exactly what has happened. So I love this is why I love this little book. This is just amazing to me. Chapter 18, nothing great was ever accomplished without making sacrifices. And I love how you talked about what you had to sacrifice. Share with us what you had to sacrifice to start running these marathons.
Oh my gosh. Well, in the book, I talk about this particular, so each race is identified. So at the time I wrote this book, I had written 20, run 20 half marathons. Now I've run 24. But at this point, so I give the date and the location, and number 18 was the Disney World half in January of this year. If you'll go back in time with me to January of this year, we will recall that we lived in an absolutely, totally different world in terms of our travel, our ability to attend concerts, eat out, even Thanksgiving weekend, have whomever you wanted over to your house for pie night, game night, brunch, whatever you wanted to do. And so much has changed in our world. And so we talk about sacrifices. I talk about going to the Runners Expo at Disney World, which is nirvana for me. Nirvana. It's at the ESPN Center in Orlando, Florida, which is technically part of Disney's property. It's where they held the NBA like whole season this year. To put it in perspective, it's huge. All Disney stuff, all running stuff. I mean, it's magical. I came upon this sticker, and there's a picture of it on page 75. It's a bumper sticker. It's a pretty big sticker, and it says, "Toenails are for sissies." And I thought that was so funny. I took a picture of it. This is my actual picture of that little sticker. And because when I started seriously like long hiking, major long distance hiking, I discovered that my feet didn't love that and started to complain, not in terms of pain, but in terms of losing toenails, which I'm all about the petty and having a great pedicure year round. That's a story for a different day. A day that I was emergency surgery, came 30 minutes from dying. And we almost put that story in the book, but we took it out. The only thing on my entire body that felt cute were my toes. I had just had a pedicure 48 hours before this. And so my toenails are a big deal. And the fact that they were turning black and falling off is the least of my sacrifices when it comes to running. A lot of times getting the run in, you either do the work or you pay the price. In that you can't walk after doing a race. You can't just decide you're going to do a half marathon, or you might not do well with that. Experience it, your body will revolt in a number of ways. And I talk about this. There have been times when I did not put in the work ahead of time, and I paid the price in my time, and a lot of negative self-talk, like, look, you should have done better. And yes, I should have. But in the words of my beautiful friend Patty, we just have to shed our shoulds and shine. When it's game time, the work you put in is the work you put in. You get the performance you prepared for, no matter what it is, right? And so putting in the
Absolutely.
sacrifice, I talk about Mel Robbins' book, and you referenced it before, Connie, in this very conversation. Just sometimes we got to Mel Robbins 5 4 3 2 1 and just get up and do it. Because let's be honest, friends, there will be time, there will never come a day that you're like, yay, I get to put in my run today, until you, it is such an ingrained habit that it's a different physiological experience in your body when you look forward to that release. It takes a long time for that to come. And a lot of people think I am crazy. And really, I am, which is why the title of the book is I'm Only I'm Crazy. When you get to the end, it's like, yes, as a matter of fact, I am. So,
Well, I have to say, in a lot of my leadership stuff, I talk about the fact that further sacrifice you have to make.
yes.
And it's really important to understand what those sacrifices are
Mm-hmm.
and celebrate them. Don't look at them as sacrifices, but look at them as gifts. Chapter is one of my favorite. Enjoy the journey. And I am
Yeah.
so about the journey. It's never about the destination. It's
Yep.
always about the journey. So in the beginning, you say, one of the battles I consistently fight is focusing so much on the end goal. So, sorry about that. I lost my
Yes,
signal.
I lost you. Ah!
I lost my signal. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, so I was talking about the chapter 19, Enjoy Your Journey. And it's so important that we take the time. And what I was asking you is that in one of the previous chapters, you talked about how you were running and just looking at your feet, and you were not looking around at the canyon around you. How do you remember to enjoy the journey while you're out there running?
Oh my gosh. Oh, how do I remember to enjoy the journey? And first of all, I'm enjoying this journey, and this is metaphoric for life. That you lost your signal, your sound is funky to me again. So, like before, hopefully that will fix. As your signal gets stronger, we need to point the satellite in the direction we want it. But I have learned this year. This year has forced me, like many of us, to slow down. It's forced me to slow down. It's forced me to be more present. It's forced me to journal more, to pay greater attention to the people around me, to myself, to check in with my heart, with my head, and ask myself sometimes multiple times a day, how am I doing? How am I doing? And then reaching out to others in my immediate family, in my extended family, and I talk about in 19 the journey about the journey of finding my birth family, and we're coming up on the anniversary of that in just a few days, so it's very very fresh on my mind. And yeah, I've just had to learn how to slow down, and thankfully one of my best lessons of 2020 is learning how to be present. I've read Amy Cuddy's book, amazing book, Presence, multiple times. I've watched her TED Talk probably 20 times. I've shared it in classes. It's brilliant and beautiful. If you haven't seen it, Amy, AMY, CUDDY, go onto Amazon and look for her TED Talk. And fantastic about presence. And so just trying to remember to just slow down and be present. And one of the ways I've learned that is by creating a meditation practice.
Oh,
It
that's
was
so important.
at Awesome Females a few years ago that a lot of the women who were there, women leaders, were talking about meditation. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's a bunch of woo woo. That's for other people. That's not for me. And then the rubber hit the road. And I was reading a book about aging, not my favorite topic. Grandmother of almost 7, but yeah, definitely not interested in getting older. And it talked about meditation, to create a meditation practice consistently 10 minutes a day. I mean, all of us have 10 minutes a day. All of us have 10 minutes a day, especially if we make it a priority and or schedule it and or both. um, it actually reverses aging in the brain, which I don't know about you, I need my brain to function and work well. And I thought, okay, that is check. And it also reverses the signs of aging physically. And I was like, there's no part of that that has a downside. And
Yeah.
so
No, there was actually a study done in 2011. They took 57 leaders from different sectors of business and divided them in half. And this was the Harvard Review, Yale, several of the universities, some think tanks, some big psychology organizations, and they tested all of the 57 people before they did this 8-week of program of mindful practices, which the primary thing is stopping, breathing, and being present and meditation. And they divide the people in half, and half of them didn't do the practice or didn't do the courses, and the other half did. And the results were amazing. They came back, they retested everybody to see what had happened. In the areas of resilience and collaboration, the people that went through the mindfulness practices increased their resilience and collaboration by over 90%. It was over 80% of the ability to handle complex problems and situations. And then that study was combined with 19 other studies by the University of British Columbia, and they looked at the brain, and the brain actually grew in size by doing mindfulness practices. So, I mean, yeah, there's so many benefits. Most leadership people now say it's not a nice thing to do, it's a must have if you're going to be in our world. And I think especially today with all the stress and the anxiety and everything that's going on in our world, it's needed more now than ever to help us get through. And what a great side benefit that we take care of some of the aging issues.
Amen to that. And roll back the clock on both the brain and the skin. Yeah. Wrinkle eraser. Bring it on, baby.
Bring it on, right?
Yes. I love that.
Okay, well,
I'd love to see that study. I would love
oh,
it.
I will send it to you because it's
Please, that'd be
fascinating.
great.
Okay, so the last chapter of the book, COVID-19 virtual half May of 2020, and you call it Finish Strong. So tell us a little bit about how you did this virtually, and what did you like about it versus running live, and what was it like?
19 and 20 were both virtual, and I personally love in person better. In 2020, I've run 6 half marathons this year. Number 19, number 20, to get to the point where I could, yay, write this book and celebrate this book. And so 19 and 20 were both virtual. Am I right about that? Hang on. I got
Let me
to
all look
make sure I'm
here.
telling a true story. Let's see.
19 was Star Wars virtual half,
Yes.
March of 2020. Yeah.
Yes. And so my first actual half of this year was in January at Disney World, before the world went crazy and shut down. 19 and 20 were both virtual. And so what, in answer to your question, Connie, what that looks like is me in my running room on my treadmill. And so I get to provide my own snacks, which has some side benefits, but I don't get the power and the energy and the high vibe tribe at the starting line and at the finish line. And I've actually made a number of friends running half marathons that I'm still friends with on Facebook to this day, from many years ago, which is really, really fun. And so, personally, I am a people person. Well, I get my energy from being with other people. I love the energy of being with others, and that's part of the reason I talk about at the beginning of this book that I started doing half marathons to begin with. My oldest two daughters, Ashley and Bryn, did a half marathon, and they invited me to come and cheer them on at the finish line. And I went, and I'd never experienced anything like that. The lights, the sounds, the DJ, the music, the people, the cowbells, the balloons. I mean, it was like, it was high, high, high energy. And I thought to myself, I want this. And yeah, deciding you want something is the beginning of the journey. And then actually
Absolutely.
having the courage and the commitment to find the time in your life to make whatever the goal is happen, whether it's to write a book or to write a course or to run a half marathon, whatever it is, it requires sacrifice. And so it's sacrifice of sleep, it's sacrifice of time doing other things. It is most assuredly a sacrifice of television. I watch almost no television at
Right.
all, and I can't get what I want to get done to not only blow up the needle in the real estate industry, but transform it by watching television. Not going to happen. So yeah,
No.
not gonna happen. So yeah, I talk about in chapter 20 finishing strong, and making sacrifices and falling down and getting injured and pushing through, not pushing through injury, but pushing through the obstacles that are absolutely going to hit you. No matter what they are, whether it's an unsupportive family member, whether it's haters on social media, whether it's a physical injury or financial setback, whatever it is, things are going to happen. And just being so committed, so visionary, and singularly focused on what is your finish line that you keep pushing through, even if it's one slow, laborious step at a time. It's just pushing through.
I always talk about that is when that happens. I used to do Airbnb here, and I had an internationally renowned rock climber 2 years in a row while he was developing the route up the Don Wall with his partner. And he always, metaphorically, he said, rock climbing is just like marathons are just like the story of life. And he said, it's just a course correction. It's a course correction. You take a look at what the obstacle is, and then you figure out, okay, what is the course correction that I need to take to push through this? And so there's no such thing as failures. There's no such thing as I call them crystalline moments. You've got a fork in the road. Which way are you going to go? And deciding that which route is the best route for you. And when something does happen that puts a block in your way, okay, I need to stop. I need to breathe. I need to listen to my inner voice.
Connect with
What am I? I'm not hearing. I'm not hearing something. The universe is trying to tell me something, or God, whatever your belief system is, and follow that vision, because that's going to take you in the right direction. So I love that. And I think it's so important because people, especially right now, I mean, my partner now has COVID, and she's fighting it through. She's not feeling well, but I told her, I said, just stop everything you're doing, take care of your body, and just be, and figure out while you're not feeling well, what is your next step? What does that look like for you? And because I think I'm a firm believer, absolute, and COVID has proven it even over and over again, even though I've seen it in other disasters, that the reason we have these disasters is because God is saying you need to come together. You need to come together as a community. You need to come together as a world. We've seen that over and over again. And that's true in our own personal journeys. When we come across something, a disaster or a crisis in our lives, it's there for a purpose. And I call them, just like my husband died, is what inspired me to write Crystalline Moments. It was the greatest gift he ever gave me was in his passing. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And so no matter how horrific or how bad something is, like a pandemic, there is a gift for each one of us in it. And I think you mentioned it earlier that, you've had an opportunity to stop and reflect and become present. And we've been able to practice that a little bit more because our schedules are not so crammed full of going, going, going. So, well, Cheryl, I want to tell you, this is one of the greatest little books. I tell you, the pages are coming out of it, and I'm so glad you were able to come on with me and share because.
Oh, Connie, you're so wonderful. You're so wonderful. And for me, one of the best parts of the book is what's it called? Beyond the Welcome to the Finish Line. To me, it's beyond the finish line. Welcome to the finish line. I tell a story in there that I've never been able to tell publicly, ever. It is so close to my heart. They, as a speaker, they tell you that if you're still in therapy for it, you're not ready to speak to it from the stage. And yeah, I had to give myself a good hard talking to, which is another great thing we can do during a forced slowdown like a pandemic, right?
Right.
Why did I do this? Why did I run 20 half marathons? I set a goal to run one. What happened that made me decide that I wanted to run 20? Because I mean, let's face it, that's a little idiotic. I was not in cross country in high school. I did not. I was a very, very fast runner in fourth grade. I beat Bobby Turniak, the fastest kid in the fourth grade, and tied with him for first place ribbon. I was the fastest girl. So I was more of a sprinter. I was not a long distance runner. And I didn't start doing this until I was well into my 40s in terms of running half marathons. And
wow.
And I tell the story of why. And I'm not going to give it away because it's my favorite part of the whole book. But the premise is I wanted something that could not be taken away from me. And there are so many things in life that we feel like we are victim to that we're not in control of. And whether it is politics or pandemics or protests or whatever it happens to be, there's a lot we can control, and we can control our attitude. We can control our mindset. We can control our physical. There are a lot of things about our physical health that we may or may not feel like we can control, but we can make the small changes that will yield us huge results in our long-term physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical health. And so one step at a time.
Well, I have to say that story brought me to tears in the book. It was so heart touching and heart wrenching, and I could be that little 6-year-old girl myself and really feel the pain. So again, you got to get this book, everybody. You got to get it because it's such an easy read. And if you don't have a lot of time, you read one chapter, and it's going to take you 5 minutes to read that chapter, and you'll get a little nugget, which is why I wanted to do this on to 70 and beyond. I can't appreciate you coming on today, and what a great weekend for you to be on with me and sharing the stories, and your book is just, I love you dearly for it.
Oh, I love you dearly, my friend, for so many reasons. So yeah, it is available on Audible. And it's available on Amazon right now. And because of the formatting, we're having trouble getting it available for Kindle. But I will announce it here. By the end of the year, it will be available on Audible. My daughter is in the process of recording it right now.
Fun.
I know. So we're my Audible freaks. I am an Audible fanatic. So I'm so excited that it's going to be on Audible by
that is so cool because I'm a big Audible. That's the way I do books, except for this one, or every once in a while I come across one that.
Pictures, so you
got it's the pictures and it's
we got to show the back. I'm so grateful to to my amazing
Yes.
photographer, and my incredible team who helped me put this book together. So, and my team includes amazing friends like you, Connie. So grateful.
Well,
Thank you
thank
for
you,
being
honey.
an
I'm
inspiration.
glad I inspired you to write a book.
Yes, you did. You inspired me. Now we're at 2, and I've actually written the third, but that might be a minute. So it's time for number 4.
Yeah. So
Time for number.
exciting. All
Yes.
right, honey. Well, thank you so much for coming on with me, and everyone. I hope you all have a fabulous rest of the Thanksgiving weekend. My family's here, so I'm going to get to enjoy them a couple more
Yay.
days. But yeah, just have a. This was really a good time to stop, find the things you're grateful for, write them down, and that way, when you're not feeling it, go back and read those successes and the things you're grateful for. So,
Amen.
all right, everyone. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week. Thank you again, Cheryl. Love you dearly.
Thanks, everybody.